The only way that next year 2024 is going to look any different from what your life looks like right now is if you move from the state of just having good intentions and good ideas and good plans to now a state of intentional action. You see, having good intentions is easy. If you go down the street and you ask some random person to choose between having good health and poor health, I am sure they would say they want to have the good health so they can live a little longer. Or you ask some other person to choose between being successful or unsuccessful, I can guarantee you that they would say they prefer to be successful, whatever that may mean for them. But you see, majority of the times, the problem isn't in our intentions or goals or plans, but oftentimes our problem comes with our actions. Oftentimes when it is time to get into a state of action, we start to take a step backwards. And I'm here to tell you that next year 2024 is not going to look any different than what your life looks like right now if you do not first change your actions. Imagine for a moment that I came to your house, spent some time with you, and I asked you to make a list of all the dreams, goals, and things you would like to do or have to get done in your journey throughout life before you leave this earth. I'm sure a lot of you will be able to start listing off various things. For some of you, you may say you want to finish college, have a good marriage, be spiritually and physically healthy, start your own business, write that book or song. But allow me to ask you this. Are any of those things you listed impossible? Like, would you say any of them are almost impossible to do or reach? If you said no, then why is it that some of you haven't even taken the first step forward towards making it a reality? You see, the truth be told, oftentimes the main challenge isn't having the right goals, plans, or even intentions. Neither is it that we don't have the opportunities required to make that vision a reality. Yes, all those things are important, but the real challenge often comes when it is time to get into a state of action. What often amazes me is that coming on to the start of a new year, everyone starts talking about their new goals, their new resolutions and plans for the new upcoming year. They start talking about all they intend on doing. However, before January is even over, it is almost as if they go off course. Why? Because though they knew what to do and they had the great ideas, they weren't fully committed to the process and to the systems. In other words, they weren't willing to stay in a state of intentional action long enough because oftentimes that process is uncomfortable. They had good intentions, maybe to get more grounded in the Word of God, or to exercise more often, or to develop a new skill, or to achieve some particular outcome, but they got off course because in many instances they weren't willing to endure the process long enough where their habits would compound and compound to bring about the desired outcome they are looking for. But I am here to encourage you to start getting into a state of action on what you said you would do. Because when you do, not only will your life start to change, but it will also start to become easier to stay in action. Make a personal decision that you will start keeping the commitments and promises you make to yourself. I love what John Maxwell says. He says that the people who have good intentions aren't the ones that make the world a better place. It is the people who have good actions that do. I certainly don't know about you, but there have been many times in my journey where I have had good ideas, great visions and goals, but I procrastinated on acting on those ideas. Have any of you ever procrastinated on something? I'm sure about at least 90% of you can relate. You see, when we procrastinate and when we refuse to keep the promises we made to ourselves, it is almost as if unknowingly or subconsciously, we are telling our brains that we cannot trust our own selves. That's why getting into a state of intentional action is so important. So as you transition from this year 2023 to 2024, don't only have great ideas and goals and plans, but also look for ways that you can start getting into a state of action and executing towards your goals. Maybe start by keeping the small commitments you make to yourself and then grow from there each and every single day.